All right, so the final part in this, we talked in the last video about hidden lines and these just showing things from a certain view that we can't see in a different view, okay? And so now we're going to talk about dimensioning. And so the first thing to do would be to go up and you are going to select your dimension layer. Now, if your AutoCAD settings are the same as mine, then your dimensions should come out the same size, and that's what you want, okay? So if they are not coming out the same size, then that's where you're going to have to go back. Good morning, and adjust template settings. So the rule of thumb with dimensioning, and just like your probably English teachers or most English teachers have told you is, or told us, less is more, right? We don't want to add words. We don't want to use 5 sentences if 3 will do. So the biggest thing about it is redundancy. Like, you don't want to redundantly dimension. Okay, if I know that this is 1 inch right here, there is no reason to say that the same thing, that it's 1 inch over here, or that this is 1 inch, because if these things are aligned, I can see that absolutely. Okay, and the other thing is, if I know that this is 4, but the space between these is 2, then that's going to tell me that this leftover and this leftover are 1. So you can rely on a person who's semi-intelligent to be able to understand this, okay? So when you do the dimensioning, and right now we're only dealing with linear dimensions. Again, if you look up here, if I hit this where it says dimension up next to the A, if I hit this smaller drop down over here next to linear, I have these different dimension options, okay? Like if I use dimension angular, what's going to happen if I select here, right, 2 lines that form an angle, you can see it tells me that that's 90 degrees. Dimensioning is super simple, okay? And the other thing you can see is it always reverts back to the last thing it was on, okay? So now it's set to angular, okay? So dimension, how do you do it? Well, you click it, and it's basically just like drawing a line. So if I want to go ahead and give the person the overall length of this bottom line, if you look at your command window, it says select the object or first extension line, origin, angular, baseline. Just go ahead and intuitively select what you know you need. Sorry, I had a computer almost totally out of gas right there. So dimension, go ahead and do just from endpoint of here to endpoint of here. And then you can drag down. You can go up or you can go down, okay? So you click dimension, pick one point, pick the next point, and then drag it down, okay? Typically, I kind of always go a little further than I need to because I can go ahead and modify these later on. This dimension size is a little bit big for my taste, but it'll work fine, okay? So in this case, I'm going to dimension the length as well as the height on this one, okay? So I'll do dimension again, and this is where you want to make sure you're not, see, I could grab the end of that extension line, but I don't want to. So you got to really make sure that you're grabbing the actual object, okay? Now this is a perfect spot, so let's do that. So we've established the height, we've established the length, and then, oops, I didn't want text, I want dimension again. And let's go ahead and establish the width. From end to end is 4, okay? So we've given the person the 3 things they need to know about the size of the block. Again, you don't want to go back over here and say that that is 4. Why? Because I can already tell you it's 4 right there, okay? You don't need to tell me it's 4 wide here or 6 long right there, okay? So now we got a couple of little things we want to focus on. One is we've got some geometry things happening here, okay? And I'm going to see if I can get away without cluttering. So like, let's say for this notch up here, right? I want to say, okay, I need to know how high it is from there to there. But if I do that, right, it kind of starts to clutter the drawing. It's showing me that it's starting to get a little bit hard to read. Well, the fact that I have this dimension line over, or I'm sorry, this hidden line over here is great. So if I want to select, I can just select the dimension and I can keep dragging it out into space. And now what I can do is go dimension again. And again, make sure you're grabbing the right stuff. And I can grab this. Okay. So there we go. That works pretty nice. That shows me that's a height of 1. Do I need to know anything else about anything on this side? No, I don't. So I'll just come back and I'll neaten everything up. Now again, how far does this go back from the front? It goes back 2. So in this case, I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to drag this down. And now if I dimension to this hidden line, again, it declutters my drawing. Okay. Now I would need to also know across the top of this that the thickness of this is 1. So I'm going to go, okay, can I do that? I'll go over here. I'll go over here. That's a height of 1. Okay. And so this is a height of 2. Have I told anyone? Nope, I haven't. I've only said that that's 1. I've not given any height information yet. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here because I'm starting to get kind of cluttery over there. So let's go from here to tell people that the height up to that little shelf ordeal is 1, or is 2 rather. Okay. And then another way, so again, I said don't do more than you have to. Another way you could do this, I'm going to move this one down again, is use deductive reasoning here and count on the fact that a person looking at this drawing would be able to understand that from here, if you told them that that's 2, well, they should be able to understand that 4 minus 2 divided into this space and this space is 1. And they should also be able to go ahead and just go straight up the way and see that that's 1. Okay. And then I think the only thing we have, you look at this one, you say, well, there's no dimensions on it. Fine. Don't worry about it. I don't need any dimensions there because I already know this is 4. I already know this is 6. I already know this is 1. I already know this is 2. I already know that's 2. And I already know that distance corresponds completely. So when you're done, you want to go ahead and tweak your dimensions a little bit. Again, you don't want to crowd the drawing too badly, but you also don't want stuff just way out in outer space either. Okay. You'll notice here on this one, this is what we call stacked dimensions. And it means that when you pull dimensions away, like I have a dimension of 4 and then I have a dimension of 1, the biggest one always is further out. Okay. So I would never have like the 1 out here and the 4 out here. So you want to always dimension biggest to smallest. Okay. But that's it. That's the dimensioning look, and that's what you should be doing. And good luck with that.